Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamaruzzaman Sahab Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Monday, the 3rd of Rabi'ul Akhir, 1446, 7th of October 2024. Hazrat Wala starts off by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَمَا هَدَاكُمْ. This kitab is a very all-comprehensive kitab. I read from this kitab quite often, and more than anything else, I will always find a article and a mazmoon which I can say to you from this kitab. Whenever I take out and open up, I feel inshirah and openness of the heart and mind and happiness, and people accept it and like it as well. So here, Allah Ta'ala is saying, وَذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَمَا هَدَاكُمْ. तुम्हें अल्लाह का जिक्र करना चाहिए इसी तरह, उसी तरह जैसी के तुम्हें उसने हिदायत बख्शी है. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like how He has guided you to do. Now, the most important thing and the very first thing is to start off with that of zikr lisani. And Allah gives hidayat to this. And then thereafter, that brings a person to dhikr nafs, because he's making a taraqqi and he's progressing, and from there he climbs and he goes to zikr qalb, and from there he climbs and he goes to zikr ruh, and from there he climbs and he goes up till the stage of zikr khafi. When you carry out dhikr lisani, it will make you reach zikr qalbi, dhikr of the heart. So a person starts making zikr to such an extent that he can actually start then hearing his insides, making the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is zikr qalb? The zikr of the heart. It is the opposite of nisyan and forgetting Allah and forgetting everything else. And the essence and the reality of that is that what every breath a person is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the attention of the heart then becomes complete and perfect. When a person does all of this here, he is blessed with peace of the heart, and his conviction becomes kamil. When a person reaches the stage of zikr ruh, zikr khafi, etc., these are high stages, a person continues climbing. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Definitely salat will keep a person away from evil and lewdness. Similarly, the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps a person away from evils and disliked things. Now, the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is when a person comes into the safety of Allah, or rather into the fort or fortress of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he is saved from the deceptions of shaitan, just like how Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned, La ilaha illallah hisni, that La ilaha illallah is my fortress. Whoever enters into this fortress of mine will be protected from punishment. Therefore, O most honorable person, that person who carries out sin, then what happens to his heart? his heart starts becoming clouded. And the example of this person, according to the saintly and to the Durwesh, it is like a deadly land. Like that, the earth actually doesn't die. However, the earth will be deprived of bringing benefit or bringing forth fruits. So, as if death has come to that earth. However, then too, water is given to that earth. When water is given to it, then different types of fruits come forth and different types of vegetables are produced. It is like it is given a new life, and then man and animal benefit from this type of earth. Now this is exactly the halat of the heart of insan and a human. Due to abundance of sin, darkness overwhelms it. Rust starts sticking to it, and living that life in the pleasures of the nafs and following one's base desires, shaitan then makes that his abode. And in reality, it is as if death has come to it. And it is like how Allah Ta'ala has mentioned, أَوَمَنْ كَانَ مَيْتًا. But Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala can also give it life after that. فَأَحْيَيْنَاهُ بِذِكْرِ الْمَوْلَى. Allah Ta'ala can give it life with the dhikr and the remembrance of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So La ilaha illallah, the dhikr of it, and tawbah and istighfar is a polish to this heart, and it illuminates this heart so that it can live a new and a fresh life. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned that everything has a tariqah and a method and a way or something to clean it. And the method of cleansing the heart is the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when the dirt and the filth is removed from the person who is making dhikr, then his heart becomes clear of anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The nur penetrates his heart is illuminated, the love of Allah comes in, and fear of Allah can then be perceived. Okay. Our Hazrat Wala is saying that there in our watan, in our village, or in our native place there, Fatehpur, the masjid there, we used to make dhikr, the khanqa, after Fajr and after Maghrib. When we used to make dhikr after Maghrib, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to become so pleased, and he used to say to the women folk there at home that, listen, see, look at these people, look at them, they are making the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly so that you may become successful. So success has been based on remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly. Now if you should read and go through the Malfuzat of Hazrat Thanvi, and you will find that how he gave hidayat and direction to many people on different occasions, it will be very useful to you. On one occasion, a person came, and he came to the Khanqa and he started making zikr, etc. Nevertheless, Hazrat Tanvi then said to him that you just came here and you started off dhikr. I didn't even tell you to make dhikr. You know, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab used to say on some occasions, after food was presented, that, hey, we ate and this and that, and so much of time has gone, due to which so much of nuqsan has been made to my dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this is not for all, but from all of this year, we learn the ahmiyat that he attached to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we came into the dunya, we made zikr and we spoke about everyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then what do we expect? Allah ta'ala give us the tawfiq. Allah ta'ala give us the hidayah to make his zikr and bless us with the atharat that comes together and simultaneously with that of carrying out the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person can make zikr. However, when he carries out the dhikr which was gently instructed to him, talqeen by his shaykh, then the kayfiyat, the benefits, the progress, the advancement is just something else. It is quite different to apne chalne se, on walking on your own. Hazrat Gangohi, somebody said to him that I'm not making zikr because I'm very, very busy and my mind is too full, etc., etc. So what did he say? Never ever abandon your zikr, even if it is that of just only zikr lisani. Continue with that. You will not be deprived. Now make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we all benefit. Now you people make dua. I am also reading out these articles to you that Allah Ta'ala blesses me as well. Now if a person, whichever path he is adopting, that is where he's going to reach. If a person wants to go to Makkah Mukarramah and he adopts another path, he will never ever reach. So we should have some practice or the other, ma'mul, a habit of the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Allah ta'ala, before we pass away, Allah amal karade, let us come upon this, the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have machines and people go for some many long months and weeks and do courses so that they know and they can learn how to run those machines. You know, that is why Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was very, very particular about people making ittila and informing him about their hal, their spiritual state. So now here, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala an relates that he asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on one occasion that, O Rasul of Allah, guide me to such a path that will take me from all the paths that lead to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This one here is the closest. Guide me to that path, and the one that is most peaceful, salamati, and the one that has the greatest merit. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam then said, it is the very same path that I reached Nabuwat with and prophethood. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala asked again that which is that path? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam then said and mentioned that remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously in solitude. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala then went on to say that is it really this dhikr? Does it have so much of fazilat that when we can see that many people are carrying out the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam then went on to say, most definitely it is the dhikr that has this type of fazilat and virtue. And so long as there is just one person, even just one person out there to say Allah, Allah, Qiyamah will not come and this earth will then remain. This earth will then remain. So this is this path, and that is the hadith that we quoted to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq. So we have to do it here, and when we go on that side, we will really understand what is this all about. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this path for us to reach Him easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with inshirah, open our hearts and our minds. Allah ta'ala bless us with His qurb, with His proximity and qubul, acceptance. Ilahi maqsood man tuhi wa rizahi tu muhabbat wa ma'rifat khud bidah. Oh Allah, my objective is only you and your pleasure. Therefore bless me with your love and your recognition. Now you know these couplets, it is actually the wird and the practice of the Mashayikh in Naqshbandiyya. This is part and parcel of their practices and their ma'mulat. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of understanding this path to Him. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala let us walk this path to Him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept these du'as of ours. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.